time, we'll call to order the meeting of the Middleton Zoning Board of Appeals. We are missing our chair and vice chair tonight, so I will make a motion that I act as chair for tonight.
Have at it. Motion made.
All you?
Vote.
Yes.
Yep.
Tom, you okay with that?
Yes.
I guess I'll vote yes as well. The first items on the agenda are the approval of the minutes, the first from August 24, 2024. Did everyone have a chance to read the minutes? And we'll go, we have the October 24, 2024 joint meeting with the Planning Board and ZBA. We have the October 24, 2024 meeting. We also have the November 21st, 2024 meeting and the December 19th, 2024 meeting. I will accept a motion to accept all four.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Yes.
Seconded by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next item on the agenda is a continued public hearing, 165 South Main Street, an application for a special permit and site plan approval for 0 South Main Street, and a modification of the 2017 special permit and site plan approval for 165 South Main Street. The applicant here is proposing to combine 2 parcels to create additional outdoor storage.
Are we opening, or is it already opened? Has this been opened already? That's okay. I will not read the notice then.
Nope. Attorney Mann?
For the record, I think you opened, didn't take any discussion, so, and the reason I bring that up is because I'm not 100% sure how Mr. McMullen wants to participate or not, or how the board, so you're in a butter to the project?
Right.
I don't have an issue, but this is for the board, not for me to decide. So I know that we have a special permit, so I bring up the first meeting because I don't want anybody to have missed 2. But during the first, I didn't present at all. It was simply continued. I wasn't even here.
Correct.
So in my opinion, the Mullen rule would still allow both people tonight to actually have an absence, and it doesn't count, even if they weren't present then. And then I defer completely to the board relative to you, Mr. Rowland. I mean, that isn't my, it's not my right to say yes or not. So if I may, that's why I brought it up, and then I can continue.
Does the board have any comment or discussion about that?
You're in a butter? You live at Fuller Pond?
I'm Fuller Pond.
Well, that's not cool.
So you're only opening with really 3 then, right?
I apologize.
So that we're really only continuing with 3 tonight, and then the other 2 will have to Mullins in?
So tonight I'd like to present, because I know Fuller Pond is here and wants to have some issues, talk, because they didn't get to the first hearing, nobody did. So I'm more than willing, the 3 members are the sitting members, and then when the next members come in at the next meeting, all they have to do is watch tonight or listen, see the minutes, and then they can sign the Mullen affidavit that Ms. Carmen presented, and then fine.
Okay.
That makes sense? So we're not expecting to vote tonight, because we never were.
Okay. So Tom, if you're going to recuse yourself, you just got to sit
Sit in the
out
audience.
till we're done with this one, and then, I know.
Sorry about that.
No, I expected that.
Sorry, it's better than having it happen in the middle of the hearing, which happened to me like 2 weeks ago, so that was fun.
Oh,
One
God.
of the board members just walked, was like, "Oops, I'm going to go stand over there and start complaining."
No. That can be hard.
Attorney Mann, the floor is yours.
Yes, so good evening. Here with me tonight is Craig Mascianda. He is the engineer of record for this particular, oh, you have a easel, okay. Everybody's familiar with this property. It's right on the corner of Fuller Pond and 114. It's the greenhouse. We are proposing to expand an existing special permit to allow outdoor storage. I can give you some history on the project. So the project, as everybody knows, was formerly operated by a contractor in town, and he expanded it beyond the permissible areas, and there were situations that occurred, and Mr. Fitzpatrick, consistently was on the property owner and that particular tenant. We have a brand-new tenant who actually services Fuller Pond. Doesn't do all the landscaping, Ronnie's landscaping, but he does a lot of the hardscaping, right? Like tree removal, I think even some wall building and things of that nature. But my point of that is the Fuller Pond residents actually know Ronnie. So what Roland and who is the principal owner of this particular property, is proposing to do is, you can see there are two separate lots. He's proposing to combine the two lots. They had been used in combination, so effectively they were combined no matter what. And then in the application, via discussion with Mr. Fitzpatrick, Mr. Lemieux agreed that he would combine them and record a deed at the registry showing that as a condition of the approval. I just want to get that out. So the lots as combined are fully compliant lots within the business district. You know, they have more than the 40,000 square feet, they have over 100 feet of frontage. The buildings are somewhat non-conforming because they come too close to the line, they're so old. That home was, a home for one of the residents in town for a long time ago, Frank Twist. So essentially, they are staying as is. The proposal is to actually allow there to be open storage in the back, and to keep this big swath of land open and green. So essentially, what is already, if you will, scoured, so they've taken down the trees and put down material such as some of it's pavement, some of it's gravel, and this is the area. But as you can see, the only area that we're proposing to use is this area. This area is completely open and green. So the proposal is to keep the front of the building exactly as is and to actually modify it somewhat. And Ms. Marchionda can explain what he's doing up in front. But what we're doing is trying to improve that driveway a little bit by widening it because it's a little bit of a tough turn. And then we're going to maintain the 2 parking spaces that exist on this side of the building when you first come in, I should say on the side of the driveway, and then to keep the 6 spaces on the left as you come into the back. So the front isn't going to really change. What you see is what you get. However, they are proposing to put a fence along one side of it. So where the house actually abuts the Fuller Pond driveway, there'll be a gate, and then on the other side, there'll be another gate behind the house and right near where the garage is. There'll be a gate. And then behind that will be where they have their open storage. The storage area is somewhere, it's probably close to 14,000 square feet.
Yeah, that wheelhouse, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's about that size. The proposal is, though, to keep a 10-foot buffer that nobody can approach the line with. So what we've done is we put in some plantings, and I think it's curbing so that there can't be any encroachment onto the fence area, because again, that was one of the concerns that Mr. Fitzpatrick had as a result of the prior tenant. So we show a 10-foot landscape strip. One of the other things we're proposing to do is just keep some storage on this side of the building. It's appropriate for it, it's low, and it's easy for him to get to out of the house to be able to come, because the house is going to be used as office space. There's no proposal to add lighting. There is proposal to add trees on the Fuller Pond side. So the reason for that is we feel as though it gives them better protection, it blocks the fence, and that way they have more green space. And when we spoke to them, they were more than willing, and actually, I think preferred to have the landscaping be kept on their side, like at least for trees. And then Mr. Lemieux agreed where the fence is, there are parts of the fence that are just falling apart. It's a wooden fence. Eventually, it needs to be repaired and or replaced. So all the panels that have been damaged, Mr. Lemieux is going to go in and replace those panels. The entire outdoor storage area will be delineated with boulders, so nothing can drive beyond it. They did want to just keep it as boulders instead of having some sort of a fence, because it is all Mr. Lemieux's property. Even behind, it's not his, but it's his brother's property that exists behind in this area, which is what abuts Fuller Pond. I think there's probably somewhere around 2 to 250 foot distance between this property line and actually where Fuller Pond's garden is. That's where their boundary is. So a big portion of the open space area has already been paved, and that's what you can see on your plans. It's an existing paved area. And then the areas that are the gravel, he's just proposing to keep. And I will tell you that what Mr. Lemieux did, and Mr. Fitzpatrick did note that, is sometime during late fall, if you remember, the prior tenant had kind of gravelled the back. So what they did was they took up the gravel, sent it out, and then brought back in loam and then made that area so that it can actually grow vegetation in the back instead of what it was, which was a big gravel yard. And that was the area that actually abutted Fuller Pond. Because I know I had gotten a call about what's going on back there, and that's exactly what was happening.
Joe, the machine's still back there?
Machine's still back there?
Yep, it's been there for
I have
quite
to
some
ask.
As far
time.
as last
So,
time I was up there was at least a month ago, it was still there.
Yeah, no, it's-
I assume it still is, but I don't know.
it's there today, so it's not an equipment storage yard where it is.
Oh, I didn't,
Yeah, it's still
that'll
there, so I-
stop
you know.
tomorrow, I'll get.
You're referring to the old excavator, I assume?
No, no, there's another one further back.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
The old excavator's not on one of these parcels.
True, yeah, it's just over. So I'm not,
Yep.
I don't know what equipment's back there. I haven't
no,
seen
but I
it.
can make sure, I didn't know that, but I'll make sure it's moved, because they're not, they know we had, so, again, okay, so before we even came back to the board, we walked the property with an engineer, had the line staked out where the old area was. We then showed Mr. Fitzpatrick, and he said, you need to change some stuff, and he made us bring it back, and he said, this is an area where you can at least park your trucks. He said, but you know, you can't do anything beyond. So we've been trying to do that, and every once in a while, I'll get a call, okay, something's happening, and like this, so I'll make sure it stops. And what is good is, once we put all those boulders, you can't get from this property to the back, so at least then we're going to be secure in the fact that this particular property owner didn't go in the back. So as far as the permits go, I know it looks a little odd because you got a permit to modify and then you got a permit that's brand new. The reason is 0 South Main Street never was permitted as an outdoor storage yard. 165 South Main Street was. So what I did was I had to modify that permit and then get a new permit with regard to 0, and then they'll just be combined when we file. So it'll finally be one use permit for this. And that's really it. I mean, Craig can answer questions relative to stormwater management system, because we had to design that because there was an expansion of pavement. And he can also answer any kind of questions relative to the entrance, et cetera. And I do know that Fuller Pond residents do want to have a conversation with this board as well. So at this point, I turn it over to you, Mr. Hartwell.
Thank you, Attorney Mann. Is there anyone else here to speak in favor?
I think just to speak.
My name's Steve Delaney. I'm a trustee at Fuller Pond Village, and I'm here on behalf of the trustees. I want to thank council and our applicant for taking the time to come and meet with us. Many of the residents came out, and that was really helpful to explain the overall project. This is for your record, too. Thanks. In general, we believe the project is pretty good one. We're generally in favor of the project with a couple of tweaks that I'd like to just kind of go over if I could. The first is we would suggest that the approval for this project be limited to the applicant with some concern about what might be used down the road if it was not restricted. We requested the permit be applicable only to the applicant, Ronnie's Landscaping Inc. Such approval would be in accordance with under your Section 8 procedures, subsection D, which reads, a special permit, unlike a variance, may be conditioned by limiting its duration to the term of ownership or use by the applicant, end quote. The second piece is storage and height restrictions. There was a discussion with the residents and trustees. It was noted that the plan would show areas for the storage of equipment, height limits for equipment and materials, and containment areas for materials, and we don't see that on the most recent plan. We're on the plan, so it would be clear as to what those restrictions and what the area placement is. Regarding screening and landscaping, the plan currently shows up to 5 panels of fencing to be replaced and 9 new trees to be planted along Fuller Pond Road. With regard to the fencing, the project shows approximately 250 feet of stockade-style fencing bordering Fuller Pond Road. There is an additional 250 feet of similar fencing, it's all tied together, directly connected to the first 250 feet and runs along the entire property line owned by the same individual. Some years ago, the owner of the property paid for the entire installation of the 500 feet of fencing. Although the owner is proposing to replace only 5 panels of fencing, which is about 30 feet in the area sought for the permit, We believe the entire 250 feet should be replaced given the age, condition, and appearance of the fence. Further, we believe that the fence along the entire 500-foot property line is in similar condition, and we believe that it should be replaced at the same time. Given the entrance area of Fuller Pond Village, we feel strongly that the entire length of the 500 feet should be replaced. However, in the interest of good neighborly relations, we would agree to pay 50% of the estimated $20,000 cost for the 500-foot of fencing. In other words, we're willing to say, look, we understand it's a big ask. We're willing to go halves on it for the replacement for the entire length. With visually, it's really important because it's all one thing. It's the entrance to the Fuller Pond Village. With regard to the landscaping, it would appear that the 9 trees are proposed to be planted on the Fuller Pond Road side of the fence. We believe the fence resolution is a higher priority than the planting. If we could reach agreement on the fence, we would forego the proposed plantings. One minor footnote on snow storage, we would ask that it be noted that in the placement of snow outside the gate by 114, that the sight lines toward Fuller Pond Road be open, and so that the snow doesn't get piled and block the sight lines that come through that area. So that's, on behalf of the trustees, that's our notes for you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here to speak in favor? Hearing none, is anyone here to speak in opposition? Seeing and hearing none, I'll open it up to board discussion.
Well, I'll jump in. So, no, I appreciate the stormwater design. I think it's solid with at least the approach by handling the increase of impervious. The one thing that kind of jumps out at me is having the 2 catch basins on a gravel area. I mean, that's going to wash into the underground system, and you know, it's not something that I typically would see. So I think that's something that needs to be tweaked. Also, something to stop, you know, what are we using for materials that we're storing here? Like, what are we storing in this area?
So it'll be typical landscaping in Steve, what's your last name? Delaney. So Mr. Delaney's point about that we were going to show an area for material storage, we were supposed to, we weren't able to get everything on the plan. I know it seems like we had tons of time. We couldn't do it. So, but we do know that we have to show that. So we would have an area where there would be some mulch, there'd be some sand, there'd be some dirt, and they would be contained in those in landscaping bins, but behind the fence so that it wasn't visible.
Okay.
And they're supposed to be, if we're going to have any form of salts or sands, it's supposed to be over in an area and then contained so that the bottom can't leach, and we plan on doing that. And then for the most part, with these landscapers, they'll store the trailers, and then they have the dump trucks, and then they have some plow trucks, and then they have plows. So those are the types of materials or equipment that will be stored back there predominantly.
So just in reviewing, just a couple of tweaks. You have an increase in stormwater going to 114 in the, I want to say the 25, 50, and 100-year storms, I think is what I saw. So if you could just take a double peek at that. I don't know if you could maybe infiltrate some of the roof or something, but I think you can probably fix that pretty quickly.
I can tell you the challenges, and if you probably reviewed the report, so you probably saw it. One important note is we're not adding any impervious. I took the permitted pervious or impervious from the back when, consider that existing.
Yep.
We're actually reducing the impervious versus what's there today. But our future state I'm considering proposed, I'm just comparing to the permitted amount.
Yep.
And the watershed that goes to 114 is really small, and it starts way up here. So the challenge is, I can't, unless we remove pavement up there, because he added pavement within that front watershed to 114. And unless we rip up the pavement and change the direction it drains to and bring it away from the road.
That pavement was added without the permit or approvals, so.
Correct,
Yeah.
some of that pavement was, so.
Yeah.
We're cutting some of that out, but some of it's remaining. We're trying to balance it, kind of the cost benefit of removing and disturbing more stuff, just to tweak it.
I think it was all put in without permit, so Bill's
No, I
comment
mean,
is relevant that it be dealt with.
Right, but I mean, your divide line's somewhere in the middle of the building, right, and kind of cuts across, so, I mean, you could use the rooftop, that's probably going, part of that's going there, right? So, I mean, there's ways to do it.
I'll take
I
a
think,
look.
so take a peek at that. And then just, I'm not following the idea of, so you're using a secondary pond, what looks like it's just the site as a pond? Is that how you're doing it? So it's overtopping the top of the chambers, right? And then you're just using the site as a big stormwater area essentially?
Near the catch basins, and because we were facing a point where we need a huge footprint to keep all the water in the ground, not surcharge.
Yep.
So what we did is we modeled the area near those double catch basins as a bit of a pond.
Yep.
So under certain circumstances, it'll pond up very slightly, and if you look at the peak elevation, it's not much, and it's going to be concentrated in this area.
Right.
And obviously the berm is so tiny,
Yep.
if ever we, can't get deep, it'll spill over.
Yeah. So could you model that all as one as opposed to two? Because you're gaining extra elevation. So I want to say in the 50-year storm, when I looked at it, you were already over the top of your chambers. So you're basically getting additional storage that you don't have. Because, HydroCat will just keep going vertical to infinity, right? So it looked like you were kind of double dipping on that. So just make sure that it all works and what the spread would be, if you could just show that at the next meeting, like how much that's going to pond, so we can just.
Get a limit of ponding.
Yeah, just a limit of ponding. I think that should do the trick for my comments.
How are the material storage bins going to affect the drainage plan?
Well, where are they? I don't know where they
Yeah,
are.
that's,
Well, I'd assume
that's-
that would
yeah.
come in the next plan, and I'll review it, right? So,
We'll have to see where they put them and what they're proposing. I haven't seen it yet, so we'll work that out.
yeah, the big thing for me, though, is just having catch basins in a gravel area just doesn't make any sense. I mean, especially if you're trying to infiltrate, it's
I
going
was
to
trying
end
to
up
get
in
them
it.
further forward, and then we'd have to regrade all this back forward, which I wanted to do. I was trying to avoid ripping up more pavement, or certainly, we're not adding a square foot of pavement, so I didn't want to.
Yeah, no, I see it, but maybe you could look at least paving to the top of that berm thing that you're creating and the little ridge and kind of making that work. Maybe you have to relocate the basins, but you should be able to do that.
Yeah, I'll talk to the client, see what he's willing to do.
That's
so
all
you're
I
not
have.
proposing any covered storage?
Any wet storage?
Covered storage in the
No,
back?
no.
So-
We're not proposing any new structures beyond the stormwater management.
So there'll be no salt then?
No new pavement.
That's right, right? So they had mentioned salt, and I never thought about it, that you needed covered, but you do.
Salt's supposed to be covered.
Otherwise, it won't be there.
Yeah,
by
you know
rain.
what?
And it'll end up.
Never thought about it, Mr. I just didn't. So I have to then reserve the right to actually add a cover, because I'm not sure, because I thought, when we had discussed this, I thought that they did want some salt because he does plow, although if it doesn't end up working out and he can't find a place to do it, then he'll just have to buy it every time he goes. I mean, and I'll come back with a plan that shows that. That's a great point. I
Yeah, just listen
never
what you're-
thought of it.
Yeah, whatever we're storing, just have it
Never
on the
thought of
plan
it.
so we know what it
Yep,
is.
yep, absolutely.
Dan, do you have anything?
Oh, I'm just curious to see how the fence versus landscaping works out.
So
Know how
can-
that goes.
Would it be acceptable, Ms. Hartwell, if I just responded to Mr. Delaney's comments in a general sense?
That would be great.
Okay, thank you. So with regard to the approval limited to the applicant, so the applicant only has a 2-year lease and he doesn't want more than a 2-year lease. There's obviously a lot of costs go into creating the outdoor storage. So if the outdoor storage is limited to this applicant, the petitioner's not going to do the work to do it, because if it limits, so uses are always able to be limited to a person, but typically it's, the special permits are, okay, a restaurant and somebody has to come in and get a liquor license anyway, or it's things where there's an existing building. This literally is being built out as an outdoor storage, so if the special permit goes away, and then a new person has to come in and get a new permit again and again, it just creates problems and difficulty with regard to the financial feasibility. We don't mind putting in place a tremendous number of conditions to ensure that Fuller Pond is protected, but that one condition would be something that then the landowner would not fund the improvements. But relative to, for example, the storage and the height, yeah, we just, like Craig had said, we didn't get all the information we needed for him to be able to show it. So when we do, we plan on actually meeting again with Fuller Pond, at least sending a plan out earlier, because when you got the plan, they got the plan, so they didn't have much time. So we're going to do that. Then relative to the fence, the property line, so this owner only owns a 250-foot property line, doesn't own the full 500 feet. The fence went up when the Lemieux brothers joined together and they were going to put up, you were on the board actually, Craig, and so was Ann. They were going to put up that
Shopping
big
plaza?
shopping plaza. So they fenced off everything and paid for it, thinking they were going to have that big development. This doesn't, this particular project does not bode well to be able to pay for all of that fencing. So that's why they're like, look, we put it up and paid for the whole thing once. We're more than willing to replace panels, but we would never go 500 feet because that goes beyond the property line for the properties in question. And, you know, the fencing, it's not in the best of shape, but the pieces that aren't good, we would replace. And that's the offer from the person. I mean, I can talk to him. If nobody wants the arborvitae, nobody wants them planted, I can talk and see what consideration I can get for that, and then I'll work with Fuller Pond. I just wanted to let you know what the situation was. And then snow storage, 100%, no problem. We can even condition on the plan that we'll maintain sight lines, because it can be horrible on 114, as we all
Didn't
know.
you show snow storage in the back of the lot, right?
We do show snow storage, but you know how people end up plowing, and they end up plowing here?
Must be this one.
Yeah, so we're just gonna make sure
Fence
that,
here, but I can bring it back.
yeah.
Aren't they using the plowing?
So we'll take a look at that to make sure that there's no safety issues relative to Fuller. And that was just the response to those comments.
I think if there's any conditions that are proposed to address the concerns of the abutters, that they be vetted with them first before you, and that way when Mr. Delaney comes back, he can support those conditions as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Or at least the best version of those conditions that you can get as close to agreement on as possible, and then we can go from there.
And we agree to that. I mean, we ought to have met with them before this hearing. We just weren't able to, and I still wanted to come to you and to allow them to have their right to discuss in public with you.
Do you need any more information from us for the next meeting?
Nope, I think we're all set, and then we could continue to the February meeting.
Motion to continue.
Second?
Agreed?
Vote,
Yes.
yes.
Yep.
See you next month.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We look forward to it. Bye, Anna, and welcome. First meeting I've ever had with Anna.
What is this for the record?
The next item on the agenda is 63 Maple Street. This is an application for a special permit for 63 Maple. The applicant is proposing to renovate and add an addition to the existing house on a non-conforming lot. We are opening this for the first time.
Got rid of it. Do you have the,
Oh, I don't see.
Good evening, I'm Caroline.
Hold on. Hang tight.
Oh, no,
Just one
oh,
second.
first time. Anna, do you have the opening, application to read?
Oh, it's right here. I got it.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't want to cheat you out of reading that.
Really, my one time. Board of-
I'll take the cough drop while you read that.
Okay. Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Thursday, January 23rd, 2025 at Fuller Meadow on the application of Erica Barbosa of LB Special Projects, Inc. for a special permit. The applicant is proposing to renovate and add in addition to the existing house on a non-conforming lot at 63 Maple Street, found at Assessor's Map 25, Parcel 13. Plans are on file with the town clerk.
And do we have any correspondence?
You tell me.
Looking, we do have a letter from the planning board.
Thank you. Stated January 8th, 2025, from the Planning Board. At the January 8th, 2025 meeting of the Planning Board, the members reviewed the special permit application to renovate and add an addition to the single-family house on the non-conforming lot. The board voted unanimously to offer a positive recommendation for approval to the Zoning Board of Appeals without additional conditions.
Well, all that being said, is there anyone here to speak in favor?
Good evening, I'm Carol Barboza, the daughter of Erica Barboza and Leonor Barboza. We are looking
You
to.
gotta speak up,
Yeah,
honey,
if you
quite a
can speak up
bit.
just a little bit.
You're on
We're
TV, you
looking
gotta
to,
speak nice and loud.
Remodel our house, make an addition. We have 2 bedrooms, and I share a bedroom with my sister. And it's not the best, but could be worse. And we only have 1 bathroom, which is kind of hard in the morning. So we're looking to add a bathroom, have more rooms for everyone, a guest room. We aren't going to make an addition or add anything in front of the house because we can't have that space. That space is to the city. So we are looking to add from the sides and a bit to the back. We do have a new septic tank that can handle 4 rooms as well. We had that done. Yeah, what do you want to add? Anything?
That's nothing.
That's basically it.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else here to speak in favor? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition?
See anybody here?
Hearing none, I will open it up for the board's discussion.
What was the issue, Scott?
The lot's undersized and the building doesn't meet the front yard setback.
But they're not
The
increasing
the
the
existing
nonconformity,
building.
right?
They are, well, they're increasing the front yard setback violation, but it's not a new violation, they're just increasing it. So we're allowed to do that under a special permit under our bylaw.
So they are making it closer
By-
slightly, by like 2 feet.
2 feet, yes.
23.9 now, and the new corner is
21.9.
21.9.
It's how the building is situated to the front property line.
Gotcha.
And then they're going up a second floor.
Yep.
Which house is this exactly? Maple? I
Right
couldn't-
next to,
Front of the church.
Yeah, correct.
There's more one.
Across the street. Is that
Right
the
next to
Martins' old
Pinedale.
house?
Pinedale's right here.
Yeah.
The house is there.
Okay, have to look at it.
And they did do a septic system upgrade already with the Board of Health.
Okay.
Everything else complies, side yard, rear yard. Plenty of parking. The heights, the new heights within the requirement of the bylaw.
So my initial concern is that you have a garage without a driveway. Because the driveway on the plan doesn't go to the second door. The door is here.
Yep, gotcha.
So that'll have to be shown on the plan eventually.
Oh, that house.
I mean, does it have to increase the nonconformity? I mean, can it cut back by 2 feet? And is that doable?
You'd have to bend, you'd have to turn it.
Or-
basically,
or-
midpoint.
Put on an angle.
Or jog it in, right?
What's your concern, the driveway doesn't meet the garage?
Yeah, it's halfway through the garage.
That's the existing. I'm talking about the new garage goes, oh, so here's the existing corner. The new garage. See the driveway is there, so this door doesn't have a.
Has to be extended.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I think I would just need some justification as to why it has to be closer. Because I think if you follow the existing garage and extended it out, that would probably meet it, I think, and stay the same, right? So they already have that jog in, already in the driveway? I'm sorry, in the garage, on the existing building? So if that held that front face, then this isn't more non-compliant.
You understand what he's saying?
You understand what I'm saying?
So the current house right now, right, is 23.9 feet from the street. You've already got, at the corner where it goes to the garage, it already kicks back a little bit before the garage extends out. So what he's saying is, if you were, instead of trying to go flush with the front of the house now, you make the addition go flush to the garage as it is now. That would likely keep your nonconformity the same in the front.
Right.
Which makes it easier to approve.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you can do this.
You can- Okay.
And so, and if you look at it, it won't affect your setbacks in the back, it looked like, right?
Nope,
I
shouldn't
mean,
adjust
if
it.
they were to jog the addition back,
Yeah, they're right at the back setback, I think.
already?
Oh,
Yeah.
28.9?
Hold on, I get back to the plot plan.
What's the,
This is the part.
That's the lot width line, I think, is what you're seeing.
Yeah, I gotta get back to the plot plan.
yeah, there's no like envelope on there.
Yeah.
No, this is not part plan.
Actually, this might be the A. It's compliant if it's the A, I gotta, can't read it.
What was it now?
If it's the R1A, the rear would be compliant,
Yeah, it is the R1A.
then the rear is compliant. He's got room.
So if you, so if you
15 in the R1A, it's only 15 feet in the rear.
Yeah, so this whole thing could slide up.
You can
and
shift it back.
Keep it the same size, everything works.
Can you explain again? Sorry.
So basically, you've got plenty of room, based on the zoning right now, you've legally got enough room in the back, that if you slid that addition back so that the front corner is no closer than the street is now, you got plenty of room in the back.
Okay.
To keep it the same.
Just basically shift it all down 2 feet.
Right.
Yep.
We would like that a lot more.
On the new edition, we put it back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to come up, I can show you, just,
Okay.
if it's clear, step right up, and that, I know you got the plan, so I want to be very clear, because
Use your highlighter.
we like the plan, we're, I'm feeling some supportive vibes, but this little tweak here, so instead of the connecting here, you go across there, and then you extend it back
Yep.
here.
Yeah.
And that way, this corner is no closer than that corner. So if that measurement gets to 23.9,
Okay.
We're good.
We're in
We're good.
business.
We're in business.
that's the only issue. We just don't want you going any closer to the street, because it's a busy street and you're already pretty close. So if you can maintain that distance, you got plenty of room in the back.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
You can do it as a condition. So they don't have to come
Okay.
back.
If you're good with that, I don't have a problem with that. They have to also update the driveway, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll have to get DPW approval if they change where it connects with Maple Street.
Yep.
If they're changing the curb cut.
Cool. Yeah, I'm good with that. If everybody's good with that.
Yep.
All right.
One other thing to mention from the public health director was, because there's a lot of additional rooms.
Yes.
To actually add a deed restriction as well,
Yep.
for
Saw
a
that.
4-bed.
Yep.
So I guess the only question is the septic system isn't shown on this plan,
It's on the
on the one I'm looking at.
stormwater plan, right?
No, that's just the stormwater chambers.
No, but isn't that, that's the septic there?
Oh, yeah, there's a
And then
septic,
storm-
yeah.
So it's no
Trust me,
way,
Ann and I already had this discussion early, because I was like, where's the septic?
Yeah,
It's like,
it's on the back, so it's.
is
doesn't-
it anywhere near where we're shifting the building?
no, we're
Okay,
good. There's a
good.
tree towards the back, but you, once again,
Yeah, you're good, you're good, you're good. It's all good. It all works.
Yeah, it's off to the side.
Yeah, yeah.
Sweet.
Yep, excellent. Everything still works.
give me a minute.
be on the new bedroom. Probably have like 2 feet like this in the house.
All right. Is there any further discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none, I will close the public hearing and request a motion to make the following findings. Oh, there you go. I had it over here. I was in the right church, but wrong pew. I would ask the board to make the following findings. First, that the project improves the aesthetics of the property, increases the property value, and increases the tax base for the town. Concerning traffic, pedestrian flow, and safety, the relocated extended driveway does not negatively impact existing traffic circulation patterns and should in fact make it easier and more secure for people to pull in and pull out. Concerning the adequacy of utilities and public services, the proposed addition does not depend on existing public sewer service and already has a new private septic system installed.
So moved.
Oh, hold on. The second-story addition won't have any impact on the existing neighborhood character, which is surrounded also by other single-family homes. The impacts on the natural environment have been addressed by the new new septic system and the proposed stormwater management system. And the project will have a positive potential impact and fiscal impact on the town, including increasing the tax base.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Oh, second, sorry.
And do I have a vote?
Yep,
Yes.
Dan?
yes, I said yes
And I vote
first.
yes as well. Based on those findings and the board's authority, I move that we grant these special permits pursuant to section, what's the section we're under here?
335, I think.
335. With the following conditions, including our general conditions as well. First, the condition that the applicant will submit prior to the issuance of any building permits, the applicant will submit a plan for review by the building commissioner showing the driveway fully connected to the house, particularly in front of the garage doors. Second, that the proposed addition shall not be any closer than the existing structure, specifically no closer than 23.9 feet from Maple Street. And third, that the approval is subject to a deed restriction as approved by the Board of Health.
So moved.
I have a second? Second. And the vote?
Yes.
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 I vote yes as well.
Cool.
Have a great night.
Build an addition.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Oh, staff report? Oh, my
No
God.
staff report.
So I guess there's no staff report in.
Sorry. No offense. I gotta be.